So we're talking about investing. We don't really talk about that on the channel, but we're going to enjoy it. SpaceX. Let's hit it. So everybody's talking about SpaceX. It's everywhere. Everyone's losing their mind, thinking it's going to be the next big thing, which I wouldn't be really surprised, honestly. I have really high hopes for it. The next moonshot, it's the next tip into retirement. And look, I'll be, the one to say it. I'm a little bit excited about it too. Like if I had just like $10,000 of cash, I'd probably just throw it in there. I throw it in there, not because I know anything about it, but because my risk tolerance is like really sporadic, and I get it. Like there's some massive gas between I'm excited and I'm betting this on this in the future, right? So like here's the thing. After the first emotional hype, and I'm sitting there, and luckily I don't have $10,000 to invest currently. Like I can still put money in it somehow, but anyway, we can go over that later. Um, Here's the thing. I'm looking at my portfolio and I'm looking at the reality, and like my logical brain actually wants to stay in the game for the long haul. Like it tells me that I don't really have to gamble on something I don't fully understand. And I understand technology. I understand networking a little bit better. I understand semiconductors a lot better. Like that's my lane. Okay, I understand FTEC. I understand what happens with SMH. Okay, I get the infrastructure, but SpaceX, that's a whole different ball game for me. Like if I put money into something just because it's crazy or it's hype, like that's not really investing in me. That's just gambling. And gambling is a great way to end up with nothing. Okay, I remember one of my buddies, like he was talking about how he would go in there for $200, lose it all, then gain it all back and then leave. Okay? As soon as I lose $20, I'm out. Okay? That's not me, right? So this is where the boring part of investing, or my idea of what investing should be, comes into play. Okay, and I need you guys to really hear this. This is not financial advice. Investing isn't about hitting some jackpot on the stock, really. Okay, it's about the habit of investing. I'm sure you've heard it. Time in the market always beats time in the market. I'm sure you've heard that before. Okay, whether it's 5% of your income, 10% of your income, it's literally the habit that builds the wealth. Okay, it's the stuff that's been working since before hype cycle even started. If it's not SpaceX, it's freaking Ionic Q or some other crap. Okay, doesn't necessarily matter. Not financial advice. If you want that long term growth, okay, stop looking at the flashy stuff. Personal experience. So I'm looking at the fashion stuff. Stick to what you know. Stick to your ETFs. Stick to the tech giant. Stick to what you actually use every single day. But if you don't understand the business model, why are you, or not even the business model, if you don't understand the business, or have an idea how it works, or whatever the context you need in order to invest into it, okay, why are you even putting your hard-earned money into it? Why? Okay, I think about it like building a network. Okay, you don't just throw random cables at a switch and hope it works. Okay, you have to build the structure, you have to build the core restrictions, your redundancy, your protocols, whatever that is. I just read all this stuff because I'm really interested in network engineering currently. But your portfolio is almost exactly the same. Okay, the hype, like that's just noise on the line. Okay, it's just interference. All right, it's like when you chase the hype, you're creating like a bunch of data loss, a bunch of packet loss for your own future. And in order to keep the connection stable, you got to build the foundation first. Okay. I want to get this straight. Don't get it twisted. This is not financial advice. I feel like I've already said this already. Okay. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who tries to work hard and invest the best I can in the best way I understand it. I'm not some financial guru. I haven't been in finance for 10 years. I haven't worked on Wall Street. I'm just some regular guy who put in 50% of his income over the last 8 months, and it's got into $4,000. That's it. That's all I've done. That's all I've done. All right. And I don't want to get sued. That's another one. I definitely don't want to get sued for the reason because you decide to make a stupid decision. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm just giving you my perspective and how I handle these moments when everyone's screaming about this next big thing. Okay, I look into it like everybody else. I use AI like everybody else. I look into all the major finance YouTubers like everybody else. I'm not special in that way. Anyway, okay, if you want to chase a hype, go for it. Seriously, make your money. Amen. Right? I hope you hit it big. Okay, but that's not my game personally. Even though emotionally, I really want to play that. Right? I'm playing for the next 10, 20, 30 plus years if I live that long. Okay. I'm planning to be the guy who's still standing when the hype's died and the next big thing becomes the new old news. Okay? And here's my thing too. Like, even if you don't invest in SpaceX today, all right, because obviously the NASDAQ made their own rule change, but every other major institution, SpaceX is going public. Whether it's on the 12th or 90 days out from here. It's going public. There's nothing to stop it, right? At least I hope there's nothing to stop it. But anyway, if you just get an ETF, NASDAQ, FTEC, the Vanguard equivalent, whatever that is, like it's gonna maybe even S&P 500. I don't even matters. Doesn't even matter. Okay, it's going to go in one of those things anyway. Especially if it's a long-term option, if it's a long-term uh, stock pick, it's going to be here for a while. Like you might as well just put money in the ETFs. It's a tech company. Pick a tech ETF, throw it in there. Throw some money that you can afford to lose in there. You'll be just fine because if SpaceX blows up and it's actually the company that everybody wants to be, it's going to be in the index anyway. You'll be just fine. May not make like 300% on whatever, but you're still going to make money. Okay, so here's the actual action plan that I've been using recently, especially with this new job. I might make a series on, putting 5% of my income in the stock market, see what happens. But anyway, stop checking for the trendy, stop checking for the trendy stocks. Okay. If you saw it on subreddit or a viral post, it might be too late. It's probably too late. Honestly, it's probably too late. Okay. You're providing the liquidity for other people who got in early. Basically, right? Automate the boring stuff, right? Set up your transfers into your core ETFs, the stuff that tracks the market. There are people who literally dedicated their entire lives to understand the stock market, and you don't got to deal with that, okay? Because you're not that guy, and there's always gonna be someone out there who's gonna be at the stock market. That's what I believe personally. Doesn't really matter, okay? Set up your foundation. Number three, invest within your knowledge. A man must know his limitations, right? I'm studying for my CompTIA Plus, my Cisco certs, because I understand that field. I know where the growth is. If you want to invest in something, invest in the thing that you know the most, that you get the knowledge the most, you get the understanding the most, and put more money in your pocket and the thing that puts more money in your pocket every month. So that way you have more to invest in the market. It doesn't really matter. Get your money up and invest in the things that you actually know and understand. Okay. If you really want to be like me and your risk tolerance is super high, just create something with some play money. Okay. If you absolutely have to scratch that itch, if you have to scratch that itch, just set a hard limit, like 1%, 2% of your portfolio, doesn't really matter. Okay. It's like something that you're okay with losing entirely. Okay. Not just it like going down. I'm talking about it going to zero, negative. I'm talking about you losing 70 to 80% of that stock you picked. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. If you lose it, it's like tuition. It's like a tuition fee. Okay. Okay. If you win, cool. But if it's less than 1%, okay. But don't let that 1% become 100. It's just stupid. Personal belief, nothing on you. Personal thing. Stop and looking for the shortcut because there usually isn't one. Not saying there's nothing you can do. Not saying you're not going to make 300 whatever percent increase that you're going to want to do. Doesn't really matter. All right. The slow way, the consistent way, the non emotional way is the best way to invest. That's just true. Just keep leveling up, keep bossing up, keep your head on straight. Don't let the noise mess with your vision. Okay. Okay. Just stick to the plan. That's it. Okay, whether you listen or not, I don't even talk about investing like that on this channel like that. But I just wanted to talk about that today. Anyway, I love y'all. Trump, let it code mint, MINT. Help a brother out. Please. Anyway, adios.